All right, we want to show how to replace the screw valve on an Ozone. This is a Ozone Rio. It's about 5 years old. It's a V5 version. And what has happened? Well, here's the valve. I've got it pulled out. It's Velcroed in there. I took out the valve, the one pump, slide it through the zipper hole, and there's my valve. Now, what has happened? The rubber has just really rotted out. That's petroleum for you, and that's what happens to it. It just goes bad, and it cracks out and splits out. Now, the valve is still bonded very good to the bladder itself, but that's out. All right, so take that away, and now this is what you have. You have your bladder and your valve where it was attached. It's still kind of down inside of there. It's attached onto it. But what you have to do is you've got to cut this out of here. Cutting that out is going to leave even a bigger hole in this location than what this is right here. So you can't stick over the Velcro. So you get a new one, FMK. This is Tear-Aid, and it's got Velcro attached to it. It's ready to place on. But you need to have the Mega Install Patch. The Mega Install Patch, let's see here, it is about, if you got a piece of Tear-Aid, it's a little less than 6 inches. If you made a 6-inch circle, or you could buy Tear-Aid and you can cut this in whatever shape it is, and then you want to cut a hole in the center. You can do that with scissors. We have punches, but anyway, it's the size of this valve that's going to go in there. So you want to make it the same size as your base right here. So this will go through. So why you have this is because once you cut this out, you're going to have a much bigger hole, so you need to get everything back to original size so that that valve fits right down in there nicely and it doesn't have Tear-Aid on the back. Now you also want to make sure that you take the packaging such as this, and you want to cut around this edge and have a donut that you can place inside the bladder, so when you paste down the Mega Patch, it sticks to this plastic on the inside and it doesn't stick to the other side of the bladder. This allows you to come back and then place this over the top. So I'm going to get this all cut out, and then I'll show you the next step of finishing and finalizing this and getting it back installed. All right, so we've got everything set out here, and I want to show you some of these. If you get up underneath this edging, you're able to get these to remove and come off of the bladder itself. So this one I started peeling a little bit, and when you do, take a little alcohol bottle, spray in there, and when that alcohol works away around the edge, it gradually peels off. So I was able to get this one removed. If you can't get it removed, then you're going to have to cut it out. And you can see this is where I'd be cutting along this outside edge, and you've got to take your time and you would cut it. But if you can get it removed, you're good. So if you do have to cut it out where I described using the Mega Patch, that's when you would come in here and you would have to put on the Mega Patch because it's cut in here, as well as using that little extra packaging disc on the inside. But since I was able to remove it, then all you need is just the standard valve replacement from Fix My Kite. It's got the Velcro. You want to make sure you have Velcro. So now that I have that off, I'm going to show you how easy. So if I had to cut it out again, I just want to describe that. You put the disc on the inside that takes up that patch, then you stick on the Mega Patch. All right. So now we want to, all right, now that we have everything removed, again, we do not need the Mega Patch because I was able to get this removed. Now we just want to go back to installing the main valve. A little bit of alcohol. Make sure you get that all nice and clean in there. Take your time. Make sure that whole area where it's going to be sticking down to. Then you want to take the side that doesn't have any alcohol. Make sure that you get the residue removed, and you'll feel the bladder when it becomes clean. It gets real grippy. That means you've got that cleaned pretty well. Now take your hair dryer a little bit, just making sure there's still no moisture. You don't want any kind of moisture, alcohol moisture or anything underneath the sticky. You can see I've got a piece of cardboard. I have a hole cut in here. That just allows a relief when the valve goes down in because it has this extra lip here. So if you have somebody or a friend, have them hold this out. Don't touch the area you're going to stick to. It makes it handy, but I've installed a few of these, so I think I've got it down. So now, get your Tear-Aid removed. Let that toroid kind of relax. Go to the center and press down. And what I do is I'm spreading it while I'm working around the edges. So if you have to do it by yourself, do it this way. There's no wrinkles. The goal is to eliminate all those wrinkles and anywhere that it may leak. Then I turn it over. I go inside here and make sure that's sealed down to the back of the valve as well, because the toroid is completely around. All right, last but not least, a little bit of warming. And everybody's like, well, why do you warm it? Well, it's because this material, EVA, it looks like it's just flat and smooth, but in the micro texture, it's still there. So that allows the toroid adhesive to really bond down in there. All right, now that that's in there, the only other thing that I like to do, because I do not have this little red tab on here, which you don't have to have, it's usually an alignment tab, I take and mark left and right with a permanent marker. So when I line that back up inside of the casing, I know that that line needs to be, and I don't have it sideways or anything else. It lines up, Velcro it back into the opening, and then get it inflated and ready to go. Anyway, that's how you install it. Don't forget, it does come with a brand new cap. You want to use that because these rubber seals in here do go bad and they get off-sided on them. So replace that new cap, put that on there, and this guy's going to be ready to go. Anyway, it's Jeff Howard at Fix My Kite. How to fix an Ozone screw valve.